What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review for you guys. And today, I'm talking about one that I actually didn't know was existent until seeing Thralls of Metal do a review about it. I haven't finished it all, but as far as the review goes, as far as what Thralls did, let's stop saying that. But I'm talking about the latest offering from Skelethal within Corrosive Continuums. This also came out on July 12th, this time on Hell's Headbangers. And this is their third album overall, and this is a French death metal band, and this is mostly 90s death metal, kind of like mixing a lot of Floridian death metal with a little bit of British death metal, but with a little bit of that like punkiness of Swedish death metal. So it's like a hodgepodge of everything 90s death metal. And pretty much after you get through this opening instrumental intro track creation with a question mark, which it's doomy, lumbering, and melodic, then it goes into the true opening track, Spectrum of Morbidity. And right out of gate, old school death metal blast beats and low end tremolos, very much in the vein of Morbid Angel quite a good bit. But then the riffs and the rhythms shift a lot, and they do shift a lot across the board on this album. But on this track, it goes from those blast beats and tremolos into more crust punk and grindcore type riffs and drum beats. And even some, like, eerie melodies come in out of nowhere, and it grooves pretty hard. Like, when it comes down to the groove on this entire album, it hits hard, and in big, big ways. And then the following track, Mesmerizing Flies at the Doors of Death, has some doomy nods, like the opening progressions are quite doom-laden, and there's even some more melodies that come in before you get back into blasts, but also some of those more crusty riffs that kind of harken back to Swedish death metal, like not in the guitar tone, like the guitar tone's nasty, but not an HM2 tone, but like some of the riff writing on this track kind of has a little bit of that like crusty Swedish death metal vibe, like Dismember and Entombed and Nihilist, Carnage, those kind of bands. But there's some awesome descending crawls with the guitars, lumbering grooves, and then you get some more thrashy oriented riffs and rhythms, not grindy or crusty, thrashy. And also some really cool shred, and I like how it slows down and descends to the very end of the song. Eyes Sewn Mouth Full, strange twangy melody that honestly I got reminded a lot of Alice in Chains, primarily off of Facelift, where they did those like weird twangy melodies. That's kind of what I got with the beginning of this track, and then it goes into more of those like crusty grindcore moments, but there's an awesome old school triplet chug that pops up, which I always appreciate a damn good triplet chug. Back to blasts and low tremolos like Morbid Angel, although the lead on this track, little more atmospheric, well, the first lead, and then it gets back into more shred, and then there's even some moments where it gallops almost like a death metal Iron Maiden a little bit, which I do love me a good stampede galloping horse gallop. I don't know what the hell I'm saying at this point. And then upon the immemorial ziggurat, which I assume is something Lovecraftian related, this one, in terms of groove and chug, this might be the big standout in terms of like groovy, chuggy moments. Like the opening riffs and chugs are just right in your face. But then it gets back to more blasty, thrashy oriented stuff, and then there's some tribal beats and clean guitar notes and an awesome bass line. Like the mid section of this song I thought was quite killer, and then it gets back to grooves and it feels kind of obituary-esque. Like there's some obituary-esque groove going on with this track, but the guitar solos on this song, probably the best leads on the entire album, if I do say so myself. But then you get to the closing track, the title track, the big, long instrumental, nearly 13 minutes of melodies and all sorts of riff changes, whether it be they're going for the more sludgy, doomy riffs, some groove-oriented moments, crusty, grindy parts, angular riffs with blast beats on top to kind of add a little more to the chaos, some squealy dive bombs that feel very much like Trey from Morbid Angel, even some nice bass flourishes, and then it slows down, and in the middle of the song, it turns into this long, atmospheric section where it's building up a mood, and then right back into immediate Morbid Angel riffage and blasts, thrashy bits, melodic lead play, and then even like a Morbid Angel Doom section towards the end that felt like something that could have been off of Blessed Are the Sick, I would say. And that's how we pretty much end this. So production-wise, it's gritty, but it's well mixed. Like, you can hear the bass. The drums sound natural. The guitar tone is crunchy and gritty, but it's not like an HM2 tone. It's just a more raw guitar style they're going for here. And then, of course, the vocals kind of remind me of Chris Monroy off of the last Skeletal Remains album, where it's still got a little bit of that Martin Van Drunen influence, but also a little bit of like a lower David Vincent growl. That's what the vocals on here kind of remind me of, except maybe just a notch lower than Chris Monroy. But of course, musically, like I said, it's like a hodgepodge of Florida death metal, British death metal, and Swedish death metal. But overall, as far as any complaints, really the only knock I have about this album was that long atmospheric section in the title track. I feel like it might have went a little too long. I think they could have cut that section down in half, and it would have made this awesome 13-minute song down to probably about 11, but I think it would have helped a little bit, because you do start to feel the length of that song after going through that section. But overall, this was an awesome album. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5. I thought this was some killer old school death metal. If you're a fan of, I would say, Dismember, Entombed, Morbid Angel, I would dare say even maybe a little Napalm Death, definitely check this out. I thought this was some awesome old school death metal. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.